Welcome to the One on One Show with Sky, Mondays at 10 a.m., broadcasting live on Sky Radio. This interview with Mr. Kai Mills was taken on Monday, the morning of the by election for the Golden Isle seat in New Providence.
We have nothing to lose but everything to gain. The Progressive Liberal Party is campaigning on the government's purse. I remember O.B. Wilscombe seat down there in West End and Bimini. They were campaigning in the police car. Um, it's hard to beat the government party during a by-election, but it is possible. But when we win, that will show an example of how bad the PLP really is, and they have everything to gain and everything to lose. Hubert Ingram said it. If they win, they will go into a quick election in March. But it's a lot of work. Me myself, I said, I would have waited until the general election, put all my ducks into the general election, because this election gonna not last. Whoever is the candidate has to go right back out to election within the year. So it's a short-lived victory. I want to go there for the long haul of 5 years. That's my 5 cents on that. But I wish them well. The people in Golden Isles have to remember how Warren Miller was treated, and if they remembered how Warren Miller was treated by the FNM and the PLP,
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason for them, if they cared about Warren, to go independent, because that's what Warren would have done if he's alive today.
Uh-huh. Well, may he rest in peace and condolences once again to his family and all of his loved ones. And so, he has played, I would say was a well-known candidate across the Bahamas. I think that's fair to say.
Yes, he's well known in the basketball world, in the church world. You imagine that Warren was a pastor, has his own church. He's also a minister in the ruling party, and he was not able to speak his heart, and his heart was what he studied, the natural resources. He knew exactly what was
Mhm.
available and what is available to the people of the Bahamas, for certain families in the Bahamas is being getting um, resources put to them, and nothing
Mhm.
is coming to the people. The people has to realize that we can't be playing ping pong back and forth, back and forth. I can tell
Yeah.
you right now, if the rest of the Bahamas is how the people of North Abaco is projected to vote, we in North Abaco are projected to vote change. We need somebody that can speak for you. Over 20 years, we have not had a candidate that mentioned Abaco and the needs after two hurricanes. Nobody has brought nothing ashore here in Abaco. You imagine that foreigners give the monies to rebuild 37 homes on your property. 6 years later, not one single house is being built on no property, and the members of parliament are clueless, they're quiet. And then the PLP, the first thing they did when they got elected, they went from giving the member of parliament $100,000 a month. They went up 50,000, 150,000. You add that by 4 years, my member of parliament have gotten a whopping $700,000. Plus, he's getting money to have an office open, and he closed his office 4 years ago. So he's been visibly absent with the 700,000 plus the money for the office. Kai wants to be that member of parliament to be more transparent. We haven't had that in decades in North Abaco. All through Abaco, we haven't had that. So it's change we have, change a must. That's why Kai is speaking. That's why I'm here, trying to give what all countries should be proud of, giving their people the freedom of the information. You are governing a people, and you're not giving them the freedom to know what you sign on. You imagine in this country, DJ Sky, that laws are being passed in the House
Mhm.
Assembly, and the judges and the lawyers don't know of the law that is being passed in the Honorable House Assembly. They pass laws for themselves and foreigners. The judges and the lawyers in the country don't know what the hell they're doing in the House Assembly.
Wow. Well, so far, we know that you've been on the ground and you're not just on a campaign trail. You've always been someone who has been prominent in Abaco, working with the young people in Abaco. Everybody knows Kai Mills. Kai Mills did not fly in and just decide he want a seat. So how has your campaign trail been now that you are connected with the COI? How are your followers? Because you
Uh,
have already had followers in Abaco, North Abaco. How are they responding to your post with the COI?
I had an unusual character came up to me the other day, I'll tell you in a nutshell, and
Uh-huh.
he asked me, and I was shocked to see that he asked me because he's a Jehovah Witness. And the Jehovah Witness does not vote. They don't vote. They don't get involved with politics. But he asked me, did they sick the dog on you yet, Kai? No.
Hmm. Yeah.
I know. They sick the dog on me. Did they slam the door on you, Kai? I
Hmm.
say, no. Did they curse at you? No. He said, boy, your campaign is doing well because they do that to the Jehovah Witness every week. And I just busted a laugh. And you know what a beautiful thing is that you could go through the community and you're welcome. You know what's embarrassing when people say, "Don't come in my yard," and they slam the door on you. I went from Grand Key all the way up to Murphytown, and that has not happened to Kai Mills yet. So I'm grateful that I'm able to reach out. And my campaign is like this: you don't think you're doing me a favor by voting for me; you're doing yourself a favor, because I guarantee you that I will be the heartbeat and the pulse of the next generation of North Abaconians. We have people 35 years can't get a paper for the house that they have grown up their kids on, and the government keep promising to give them the paperwork. And you have a people that came here illegally during 5 knocks from Inagua to Abaco. They go on
Hmm.
the land. They're again illegal to be here. They're on the land. They start to put fence around the property. They put a farm on the land. Again, they are not legal. And they raise a family that they get free electricity, free water for 40 years. And that has not happened to no Bahamian community. How can we allow it to happen? This
Hmm.
is why I stand. I stand for people. We have a bunch of cowards. DJ Sky, in
Yes.
my area, we have a bunch of cowards. Finland left a legacy when he said that you got to fight. How many people that you know in North Abaco? How many people that I know in North Abaco? From the pastors to the few, they are not prepared to fight. Everybody is intimidated in their country. The foreigners are not intimidated because they see we have a bunch of cowards from the leader way down. The foreigners are grabbing our land, grabbing our job. They're grabbing everything because they recognize that we are a bunch of cowards. And we're not prepared to fight and say no. I was up in Eastern Shore, the fella putting a gate up there to keep black people
Yeah.
out. We call it the nigger gate.
Well, Mr.
And we
Mills.
are, and the people are allowing them to do this. They're allowing it to do it because we're cowards. That's why I speak.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Mills, when you say they are cowards, we know for a fact that you have lived a life of fighting for not just Abaco, but for yourself as an individual. Um, Everybody is not in the position, I would say, to fight like you can. So, what would you say to those persons if you are the next candidate for North Abaco? What type of leadership and what type of governance that North Abaco people can expect if Kai Mills is their representation in the House?
To know your worth. When you see that people don't know their worth, They don't know the responsibility of the man that they are putting to represent them. If they don't know the candidate, they are the loser. You got to know by now. You should know who Kai Mills is. Kai has not been fighting for himself. It has been a costly endeavor. I think I'm the only candidate that's being locked up uh, 30 times just for speaking. Never
Wow.
had a conviction in my life. Boy, but they're trying. Just because you speak, it is not an easy road. You have to have
In that
this journey
aspect.
is all possible because of God. If God wasn't involved in this, they'd have had me snowed under. You imagine the state, the country was putting the armed forces against you. Even after Hurricane Dorian, I had gun put in my face just because I did a video, just because I did video of the trailer with the dead in. You can't get no worse than that. Why are you putting guns in my mouth and in my face because I'm doing a video sitting in my taxi on the dead having been buried for 9 months? That's how bad we are as a country. But I stick with it. I stayed with it. I'm still with it. And if I don't get in, if the coalition doesn't win, we are lost as a country. You'll never know what we're worth because they're not prepared to give you the dollar amount of what we're worth. You're not even allowed to have the freedom of information. The Constitution of this country says we should have that freedom, but they are
Mhm.
being breaching the Constitution
Yeah.
because they disallow the Bahamians to have a say on what's going on in their government. You're elected by the people, looking out for the best interest of the people. And after you're being elected by the people to look out for their interest, the party say you have to go on party line. The hell with the people. We'll see them back again on election. All they
Mhm.
need is a bit of some fried chicken, fried fish, pork chop, welcome music, dancing, drinks,
Wow.
collect in each hand, a hat, a shirt, and yeah, that's all you get for five
Yeah.
years. And the Bahamian people have been continually down the same road of 1 week of party, 5 years of suffering. How do you get people of that mindset? That is my challenge. How do you get 60% of the voters that didn't vote in the last election? If the coalition could get 60% of the people that didn't vote in the last election, we are the government.
Hmm.
You have to have people that want to vote, but so far, they have not want to vote in this country because they see the corruption, but they don't recognize that they have to beat corruption by going to the poll and say enough with the PLP, enough with the FNM. In Grand Bahama, you had 5 members of parliament was the FNM. One of them was the Minister of Finance. For the first time in the history of the country, the Minister of Finance was a member of parliament in Grand Bahama, and they did nothing. They did nothing. And if they win again, they'll still do nothing. Everybody's fighting now over opening a hotel, and it's cost us over $60 million, and the hotel still is not opening. And they still don't know how to open it because they need new blood for the whole district. Let's start, break it all down, blow it all up. Let's start from scratch. The coalition is that new party that people need to have the answer. At least the member of parliament will be able to speak on what's available. These guys are hiding the truth from you 50 years later.
Okay. Being the next candidate, the aspiring next candidate for North Abaco, what can you say that you will do to connect North Abaco to Greater Abaco so that it can be functioning just as any other area where persons don't have to drive an hour to get employment, persons don't have to drive an hour to do shopping and get medical care and things of that nature.
The lifeblood of Abaco is that port. Everything will be cheaper if that port will be open. And until that port is open, nothing gonna happen for Abaco. Nothing. That's what needs to happen. The port for Abaco would needs to open in order for Abaco to strive. Until that happens, we're in trouble. That's the growth right there.
I would also want to ask you what makes you different from the other candidates that are looking to represent North Abaco? What makes you stand out?
I've been there a long time. It's not here for me, it's for my people. And I've been here for a long time, advocating for the people of North Africa. That what makes me different because I'm not in it for me, I'm in it for them. And they have to recognize that.
Hmm. Well, I don't want to keep
Anyway,
too much longer, but I really wanted to ask you, you know, what is the method to your madness? Because, persons are afraid of your camera, Mr. Mills. Why do you feel that that is a way to show people who Kai Mills is and what Kai represents? Could you help us understand as the greater public?
I live in Abaco all my life. I was born in 1961. Again, it comes up to a point that people are afraid of their own country. And when you see a bunch of cowards, ain't nothing you can do with cowards. I had a whole basketball team, and nobody want to fight. I've always looked in my community. You ever been in a place and you see that you're the only one that look the same way? Everybody looks different. Everybody acts different. I am only here. Listen to me, DJ Sky.
Uh-huh.
I'm only here for a short time to let people know that anybody can do this. You don't need to be a professor. You don't need to be a doctor, a lawyer. All you need to do is what we don't have in this country is people with integrity and people that cares. I have integrity and I have cares. When you have the people in Marshall saying to Kai that the last thing I want to do before I die is to see you in the House Assembly, and I ask them why. They said, because you, Kai Mills, you represent integrity, you represent fair play, and that is what is missing in the House Assembly. Nobody in the Bahamas and the House Assembly care about the people anymore. They care about foreigners, giving everything to foreigners. When last have you had any members of parliament even come and have a meeting with the District of North Abaco
Mhm.
to say what would you like for me to do? That's my question. Going through all the North Abaco, I'd like to go into each community and ask the resident, what would you like for Kai Mills to do as your representative? And to have this done, not my last year in office, but the first year in my office, if I could do things to these satellite community, I have
Mhm.
done more than the members of parliament have done in 30 years. If I could give 50 people 1 acre each, I have surpassed all of my members of parliament in 1 year. If I could do that, Kai will be the one that they ought to have had in every community. They need a member of parliament like Kai throughout the Bahamas, not only in Abaco. People that cares, not talk care, but has been showing care for decades.
Mhm.
I got to sign off now. I don't know you got it, but I got to sign off now. Thank you for having me, but I got to sign off now. I got to do
All
something.
right, Mr. Mills, we want to thank you and wish you
Thank
the
you.
best on your campaign trail. And just make sure Abaco knows about Sky Radio. Thank you so much.
Okay, Kai, and Sky, we all care. That's why we're
Take
here.
care.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You have a blessed day. Bye bye. We want to thank you for tuning in to the One on One Show right here on Sky Radio. Yours truly in your company, taking you through the midday and coming up at